Top 10 strongest legendary Pokemon in the anime. I'm not including mythicals here, so no Mew and no Arceus. Number 10, Kyurem. If you think Kyurem sucks in the games, just remember that in the anime, it doesn't have to fuse with either Zekrom or Reshiram to transform. In the movie Kyurem vs. the Sword of Justice, it can transform into its black and white form at will. Can you imagine how busted this would be in the games? In the words of the Elder of the Village of Dragons, Kyurem is the most powerful dragon-type Pokemon in the world. Granted, she's wrong, but it does go to show just how powerful this icy monster is. Even if he did almost lose to Keldeo. Number 9, Primal Kyogre. There's just no getting around the fact that Kyogre sucks in the anime. It's portrayed as being way weaker than its Weather Trio counterparts Groudon and Rayquaza. These three titans actually have a massive clash off the coast of Rustboro during the Mega Evolution specials. Throughout this fight, Primal Kyogre gets consistently beat up by Primal Groudon, takes visible damage from Steven's Metagross, and fails to land a single hit on Mega Rayquaza. At the end of the day, it is Kyogre, so it's still gonna make the list, but man was it done dirty in the anime. Number 8, Zygarde. Zygarde in its 100% form is pretty much unstoppable. This Pokemon literally ended Lysander's existence after defeating the giant rock with ease. It's hard to judge exactly how strong Zygarde is because there isn't a great way to scale its power, so it might actually be a lot higher on the list. However, Alon's Mega Charizard was able to deal heavy damage to the 50% form, so that does knock it down a little bit. I really wish we got more than 2 appearances from the most powerful version of the Order Pokemon, one of which was literally a 5-second cameo. Number 7, and this might surprise you, Mewtwo. I get that Mewtwo was created to be the strongest Pokemon in the world, but Blaine and Dr. Fuji unfortunately came up a bit short. He has a truly heartbreaking story and is one of my favorite villains in the franchise, but there are definitely more powerful beings out there. His strength has mainly been demonstrated against regular Pokemon, which would have no chance against a legendary. In Pokémon Journeys, Ash and Go were able to have a battle against him and do a minuscule amount of damage, which wouldn't be remotely possible against anything higher on the list. Number 6, Palkia. Dialga and Palkia are obviously very close in strength, but I'm putting Palkia lower simply because it seemed to be running away constantly when they battled in the Rise of Darkrai. Dialga was the aggressor while Palkia got hurt early and spent most of the fight trying to run and protect itself. I'll give the Master of Space some credit though. It put up a way better fight against Arceus than Dialga did. It also had to save the God of Time from drowning, which is definitely not a good look. I would completely understand if you preferred Palkia, but I don't like ties and I had to make a tough call, so Palkia at 6 it is. Number 5, Dialga. Despite being owned by Brock's Krogunk, Dialga was able to dominate Palkia for a majority of their battle at Alamos Town. On top of this, it has the ability to manipulate time at will. It trapped Giratina in a time loop to imprison it in the Distortion World, and sent people back in time to change current events. This allowed Ash and his friends to stop Arceus and save the world from judgment. The ability to manipulate time to dictate outcomes should make Dialga invincible, but it's never shown to do this in battle, so I won't just automatically give it the 1 spot. Number 4, Primal Groudon. Hey Kyogre, this is how to be a real force of nature. Groudon truly looks and feels like the embodiment of land, appearing almost unbeatable in combat. On top of wrecking Primal Kyogre, it was able to actually damage Mega Rayquaza. Alon's Mega Charizard couldn't even make it flinch before getting one-shot by Precipice Blades. Groudon's also got some style, hitting Mega Rayquaza with a Precipice Blades while holding Primal Kyogre. It takes a lot to be put in front of Dialga and Palkia, but I believe in its primal form the gods of time and space would fall before this fiery behemoth. It should be noted that Dialga doesn't actually alter time during battle, and Palkia can create spatial distortions to stop its enemies, but it can only keep them up temporarily. In terms of pure physical strength and attack power, I'd say Primal Groudon surpasses both. Number 3, Giratina. The master of the Distortion World is the true king of the Creation Trio. In the movie Giratina and the Sky Warrior, Dialga is shown to be no match for the renegade Pokemon. All it can do is run away as Giratina drags it down and lands blow after blow. The same is true in Arceus and the Jewel of Life, where Giratina has to be reasoned with to prevent it from annihilating the God of Time. However, this movie also shows that despite being a parallel to Arceus, it really is no match. Additionally, a Shieldon using Ice Beam is able to neutralize one of its attacks. And Team Rocket's Wobbuffet is able to repel its Shadow Ball. At the end of the day, Giratina is strong but not unbeatable, and it just barely misses out on being number 2, Mega Rayquaza. Being the one true Lord of the Skies, Rayquaza in its base form would be strong enough to have a spot on this list. Upon Mega Evolving though, there's nothing in this universe that can touch it. Mega Rayquaza beat the Primals in a 2-on-1, defeating both in a single attack. Alon and Steven teamed up to take it on, but the fight was a total washout. The iconic dragon also has supreme evasive capabilities, being able to dodge any attack that comes its way with its serpentine movements. The precision with which it moves and fires attacks almost makes it look trainer-owned. Mega Rayquaza broke the competitive scene in the games, and it more or less does the same thing in the anime. Let's just be glad it spends most of its time in space. Speaking of which, number 1, Ultra Necrozma. Ultra Necrozma is the deity which blesses the multiverse with light. This isn't a Pokemon you can even conceive having a battle against, because its strength is so far beyond comprehension. It's capable of wiping out life on entire worlds by draining them of light. Additionally, just look at how big it is. Ultra Necrozma is probably the only Pokemon in existence which could even dream of standing up to Arceus. And that's why it's the undisputed GOAT of legendary Pokemon.